Okay, so apparently we're about to learn how to get an 800 credit score in 45 days. This year, in 2025. Let's check this out.
There's Matthew Pillmore here. I've got a really cool secret for you. Many of you may not know this, but I had the privilege back in the early 2000s of studying under one of the original creators of the first Fair Isaac FICO credit score. Now, this is the algorithm that, according to Fair Isaac themselves,
Isn't it odd that the credit system only started in like the 80s? Like it's still really, really new, which is why there are so many loopholes that still exist in it. But he studied under Mr. FICO, one of the dudes who worked on the algorithm. That's how recent this is the invention of credit is.
90% of the largest banking institutions rely on this specific algorithm to determine whether or not you are a good candidate for a lot of the debt weapons that we teach people how to get. So the FICO credit score is the most important algorithm for you to understand. And there is a relatively unknown secret in order to jump your credit scores very quickly by immense amounts. I'm talking 100 points or more in some.
Okay, so we're about to go up 100 points.
The authorized user technique, AU, or piggybacking is another term that's used, and you can do some research for yourself on this online. I would just go online, Google search piggybacking for credit, and see what you come up with. Basically, this is where you can have yourself added to somebody else's credit profile, meaning their actual credit card accounts, as an authorized user, and within 30 to 45 days, which is the typical reporting cycle for most creditors to the credit reporting agencies, you will immediately adopt the entire history of that account. So let's hypothesize an example. If I needed great credit because I wanted to buy a property and get a better mortgage, or I wanted to apply for my own credit cards, or I wanted to get an auto loan, or I wanted to go out and get access to some of these other debt weapons, but I was lacking with my scores and my profile, I could approach a close friend or family member who has established themselves with at least one credit card company provider that they would be willing to add me as an authorized user on.
So basically, summarize it. If you have somebody who has a credit card, who has a loan, that they've been consistently paying on, they're good with their credit, you become an authorized user, meaning that you are authorized to use that account. They aren't going to give you the account, but because you're an authorized user, you have access to that amount of money. So if somebody has a $45,000 credit card and they basically say in the system, hey, I'll give you access to my $45,000 credit card, and that's going to show up on your profile because now you are a user of this $45,000 credit card. Chico. I did this initially to get my credit up.
A common question I get from this is usually a concern from the primary account holder, meaning what if my credit is negatively impacted as a result of adding this person who has negative credit to my current credit card? Rest assured that will not happen. Any of their negative credit information will not show up on your credit report, but your positive credit will show up on their credit report for that account that you add them to. So they will not negatively impact you. Furthermore, they can be removed at any time from your account versus a cosigner, which cannot be removed until the account is closed and paid in full. Co-signing is never recommended by us here at VIP. I think co-signing is foolish. I don't care what.
Co-signing is literally putting your potential financial future in terms of your ability to borrow debt into somebody else's hands. If you mess up your own credit, then so be it. You can fix it, get over it, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But if you allow somebody else to mess up your credit because some little girl, some little dude was whispering in your ear and convinced you to allow them to make you a co-signer on their loan and they stop paying on it, it's a wrap for you. And it's completely out of your control. It's in their hands and there's no getting rid of a cosigner or no getting rid of that once you co-sign for somebody.
The relationship is, you could be a parent, you could be a child, you could be a spouse, you could be a lover, you could be a best friend. I think co-signing is a big mistake.
Agreed.
But you have to understand, the best possible accounts to be added to or to add someone else to, number one, have to be accounts that actually report. The easiest way to know is if the creditor does not require the authorized user to provide a social security number, it's obviously not going to report on their credit report. It can't, it's impossible. So that's one litmus test you might be able to use. Otherwise, you could just flat out ask, will this report? Am I liable for this account? You want to be liable for the account. The intention is not to give access to the authorized user or to get access as an authorized user to the account. It's not about you having access and spending money on that specific credit card account. It's about just adopting the credit history.
That's it. That's all it is. So if it doesn't report, it's probably like an in-house financing thing, and it's literally not reporting to any of the bureaus the fact that you're making payments. So you're making payments, but you don't get the advantage of also improving your credit while doing so. And there's no reason to get added to an account or add an account like that. A lot of them don't even have options for you to add an authorized user because again, it's valueless, it's pointless. That being said, companies can sign up with the bureaus and start making reports, and it's relatively easy. You just need a list of buyers, essentially a list of clients, a list of people who use your service, and they can partner with bureaus in order to get access to reporting on income, reporting on things, which is why a bunch of new fintech companies have little cheat codes like Kick and Self that allow them to report whatever you're paying them as income.
It has to report or this entire conversation is useless. So I would obviously make that my first question. Secondly, I would make sure and confirm that the account has a long history. I recommend over 5 years. You know, if you're adding something that's new.
Oh my gosh, it's so bored, and I mean, it's so important for young people. If you don't have account history, it doesn't matter how high your score is, because your score is based on nothing. The account history is way more important than what you have going on, or your credit score number. You could have a 700 credit score, no account history, and just not get approved for stuff because they have no history of you paying stuff back over a period of time. And it makes sense, because who would you rather give your money to? The 10-year-old who apparently has some job that he told you about, or the 40-year-old who's been working at a job for 30 years and has paid you back, or a fellow bank back, over the course of a few years.
You're only going to adopt a couple of months. We're looking at adding something that will add substantial history to your report. The longer the better. I would also encourage a large limit, meaning that the account has, you know, a credit limit of at least $5,000, and you've got to make sure that not only is the balance low on that account, but that it's been paid on time every single month. Any negative account history that's associated with that credit line will also show up on the authorized user's credit. So you have to be very careful to only add accounts that are going to positively contribute. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, so just because somebody has a credit card, it doesn't mean that you want to become an authorized user on their credit card. It needs to be a good credit card. It needs to be somebody who's been paying it back consistently.
Goal from this is not to establish perfect credit, whereby it can get you into the 700s or even 800s by using this technique, but underwriters at this stage in the game are incredibly sophisticated, as are the automated underwriting software programs that are used by most lending institutions. So they can look beyond just the scores. Let's say that a minimum of 700 is required for a specific account you want to apply for. If you apply for that account after being added as an authorized user because your scores shot up quickly, the underwriters might notice that all of your accounts on your credit report are that of being an authorized user, in which case you may still be declined for the account you're applying for. My recommendation is use this tool in order to get you the scores you need to start developing your own credit. Once you have those scores, which again can happen as quickly as 30 to 45 days, where you'll see huge credit scoring increases during that period of time, in most cases, you can go out and apply, get your own credit, and begin building from there. So we use the...
Yep, that's the whole idea. It's a temporary boost. It's going to make you look good enough to get something on your credit. And then with that, you can build your own history, and you can detach from the authorized user if you want to. And again, a lot of people, there are services where you can buy basically somebody who would put you on their card, make you an authorized user, a trade line. And they will last for about 30 days. And in that time, you can go apply for stuff so you can start building your own lines.
Authorized user strategy as a stepping stone to get access to accounts that are going to start facilitating construction, where we can then start adding some of the more popular and functional debt weapons that really create wealth. Now, I hope this has helped some of you. Really cool technique. Wanted to offer this credit scoring hack.
Cool channel. His name's VIP Financial Education. Again, the dude mentored under FICO, so I'd imagine he knows what he's talking about. Credit game in general is pretty easy to get nowadays. It's everywhere on the internet. Hope this video helped y'all. Have a good day.